I think I don't record because I'm scared of what I'm going to say. And it's a lot to do with being scared of what you're going to do out in the real world when you have a mental illness. It's just like you don't know if one day you're going to completely mess up in front of everybody. And like the way that you mess up gets affected by other people as well. So it includes other people. It doesn't just include yourself. Like if it would be much easier if I went out into the world and I was just like I want to end my own life. It would be much easier if it was like that, but it's also projected to other people. So it's a lot to take in and it's a lot to deal with. And nobody wants to deal with that, but unfortunately that's what I deal with on a daily basis, and I feel like I can't tell anybody that, because the thing that really aggravates me is getting in a car and being on the road and feeling like I'm just going to crash and I can't do anything about it. You know what I mean? No, you don't know what I mean. What I mean is like just getting into a busy intersection and then just thinking like, "Oh my gosh, I'm going to die." You can't do anything about it really. What can I do about it? I can tell my psychiatrist and we can try to change the medication, but I've already told him it. You know what I mean? I've already conveyed that problem to him, and he's told me that there's nothing that can be done. He never heard of it. And so I have to live with that problem. So, friends, I don't want any friends. Friends are a distraction from what you really want. Family is the same, they get in the way of your true self. What do friends bring to the table? You gotta think about it. And I've thought about this before where it's like I've thought way back into the past where it's like, was there really people here before, or was it just me? You know what I mean? Like, I went that far back. I thought that I was the very first person alive and the only person alive. And it went past thinking that there's a God and thinking that you're a God. It's just like you are just born into existence. I was born into existence and there was nobody else here. Nobody else. And why do I have schizophrenia? Schizophrenia is the voices. When people talk about schizophrenia and they're like, they hallucinate, they hear voices or they see things that are not there. And, I'm really, I can explain that a little bit deeper real quick. When you hallucinate and you see things that other people don't see, it's kind of like seeing different rules that are there that aren't there. Like, for example, I'm driving a car and I want to go 10 miles above the speed limit or 5 miles above the speed limit. And then I see a police officer behind me and I'm like, you know what? I'm not going to stop for anybody right now. I'm just going to keep on going because I am in the right. There's nothing anybody can do about that. Like, I know that I'm right and you're wrong. If you want to stop me, you're going to have to follow me all the way home. So hallucinating visually is not what you think it is. It's it's terrifying because you can do anything that you want in that moment. And there was another point in time where I was in my apartment and I was like, I'm not going to open the door for the police because I'm pretty sure that they have no right to come inside my apartment. So I'm just like looking at laws, and in these laws, I'm starting to see certain you know, points where it's just like, oh, I don't have to follow their rule because I'm in the right. You know what I mean? I don't really know how to explain it. I suck at explaining. It sucks. I'm sorry. But this is the best way I can explain my schizophrenia. And just not really seeing things like the way that you think that we see things. Like there's this schizophrenic online that talks about his schizophrenia, and he talks about how he sees different faces and he hears different voices, and the voices are jumbled and sometimes they interact with each other. And in a way, that's how it kind of works for me. You can see it more in my writing, where it's not like we are actually talking to these voices there. It's just whatever is on my mind is getting projected, and it's much more forceful, and it makes me want to do something, and what it makes me want to do is write. So whatever is popping up in my mind, I'm writing it down. So it's not like I'm hearing voices, but it's like I'm interacting with them. And they just have so much more force to themselves. That's the best way I can explain it. I don't know how else to explain it. I'm gonna keep on trying to explain it because I think that it's really important that we understand that not everything that everybody says is the same as everybody else's. Everybody has a different experience with it. And I think mine is especially unique because it was triggered with substances. It definitely ran in the family, you know, and because it ran in the family, it made it more, I was more susceptible to it. So it was just like a hell of a thing to be a part of, you know what I mean? But I wrote down a bunch of stuff that I wanted to go over, and I don't think I can do this on multiple, on just like one recording. I think I need multiple recordings because I don't know, my chair is squeaking like crazy and it's really distracting me. And I'm playing music. I'm gonna stop the music because it's making me distracted as well. Usually I play music to get myself in the mood and ready for a recording because all day, every day, I'm just I'm psyching myself up for a recording. And then when I get home, I'm just like, I don't feel like doing it. And I want to figure out why I don't feel like doing it because I have a lot to say. It's just hard to say, and it's very frustrating trying to say it because it sounds like a 5-year old trying to explain their bedtime story or their dream. And you know how a dream is so lucid, and it you lose the thought process as you're saying it. That's what it feels like waking up every day and trying to go about my life. You just, I just have so much trouble talking. It's very frustrating. And it makes you feel like you're not worthy to be in anybody else's presence because everybody else is going through life and it seems like they're doing it the right way. But I know deep down that they're wrong and I'm right. Not in a, you're being you're just being susceptible to your urges or your symptoms. It's not really like that. It's more like I've seen a lot and I feel a lot. And I'm still a human being at the end of the day, even though I can't explain myself perfectly or I can't say perfect sentences like everybody else, or I can't talk to people the way I want to talk to people. I have my ways of communication, you know what I mean? and I'm still human, meaning that I understand things to a depth that you understand things to. For you to think that you are any smarter than me makes me, it makes my life much harder to live in. You know what I mean? Thinking that everybody is smarter than me. Just imagine going through life thinking that. It's like that person is smarter than me. I can never be as smart as that person. I have to know that I am as intelligent as the person next to me, or I'm as intelligent as the doctor that's sitting across from me that's giving me a diagnosis. And yeah, they might be an expert in some things, and I might not hit the ball every single time, but I am just as smart as them. And I sit toe to toe with these people. So that's why I think people with schizophrenia are really intelligent, more intelligent than we realize. You know what I mean? Like, what they're capable of is much more than you think, because we think that the smartest people in society are doctors and business people and artists. We think that there are smart people. So you got to realize that whoever they interact with are smart as well. You know what I mean? Like, artists that wants to make their friend a manager. Their friend is not just going to become a manager just because they say so. It's because they have the ability to. And it's most likely behind the scenes, what you're not seeing is that this person is talking to that artist and they're saying, like, yo, look, listen, you got to do this, you got to do that. Maybe you should make me your manager. I know what I'm doing. And I got my degree in this, and I know exactly what I'm doing. You should listen to me. That person is probably being pretty forceful, just like a parent is in your life. You know what I mean? Like a parent would, they're pushy. Parents are pushy. They know what to do in life. They've lived longer. So they have this air of authority around them. They're like, I know what I what needs to be done. I'm experienced. I'm experienced through life. Even if you've gone through college, you're not as experienced as me. And it shows too, because, even though a kid graduates from college, they still have to go back home and get help from their parents. You know what I mean? Like, they're the ones that are living at their house. They're asking them for the loans for school. Even though they say they are smart, they still rely on them heavily. And it goes like with my family, where my mom and dad, they don't have a college education. They don't even have a high school degree, high school diploma. And all they've been doing is working their whole life. My dad owns a business. My mom helps out by working two jobs. And by just doing that their whole life, they've amounted to owning a house and all that by the age of 30 years old. And you can look around now, and my sister Diana, a college graduate, is 32. I think she's 32 years old, and she still doesn't have her own house. She can't even get an apartment. She can't afford a house. And we are saying that we're just as smart as them when we can't even prove it. You know what I mean? Like, the market is going up. It's going crazy, guys. It's going crazy. So, are the poor able to even live? And do I feel poor? I definitely do feel poor. My whole life, I've thought that we are poor, and I've lived like that, and it's emulated like that for me. So I try not to step on anybody's foot when it comes to money or anything like that. And because of that, I view life very differently. It's really hard. But having a mental illness is really tough, really, really tough. Like when you try to think about how you're going to make things happen each day, I struggle with that because I have so many things going against me. Like, I don't have a good cadence when I talk. I forget a lot. It's hard for me to string sentences together. I need a little like pick me up in the beginning of the day just to get my day going, or else I'm just going to be sitting in my room just watching TV. And would I rather just sit in my room, watch TV, or create stuff? And do I even feel worthy to create this stuff? And do I feel like anybody's listening? And, it does suck if nobody listens, but I'm not too crazy about that. I do wish that people would listen, but I'm not too crazy about that. But growing up with people and living with people that are that, what is it called? They are very competitive people. They want to make sure that everything they do has some type of meaning, and when it means something to them, it means that they're winning at it. So when my sister looks at me and she's asking me like, "What are you doing with your money?" And I'm like, "I'm buying equipment, I'm doing this, I'm doing that." And she's just looking at me, and I know what she's thinking. It's like she's thinking, "Where's the fruits of my labor? When is it going to show?" And it's very hard to compete when you feel like you've already been beaten. But I do feel like I've won. I've already won, which is why I can keep going each day. And even though I feel like I'm risking my life every single day, I still get up and have something to do. I write a lot and I edit what I'm writing, and I'm getting into a book, and hopefully maybe the book sounds more coherent than what I'm saying, because I have a lot of pauses and you can hear it. Sometimes I'm really good at not making any pauses, but today, like for today, for example, I'm not the best. I've been holding in a burp for the longest. It's really annoying, but I have so much on my mind that I want to get out, and I want to be able to do it, even though it's not the best. I'm gonna keep trying. Hopefully, I get better at this.